Alexis arrives at Laura's office, and the mayor confronts her about her paper publishing an article on her trying to get Heather free. Alexis says that was Adrian's doing, and while she doesn't approve of his tactics, she does believe in freedom of the press. Laura says the First Amendment doesn't allow you to screen fire in a crowded theater, and that's what that article was doing. She then hands the court records over to Alexis that she needed to advise her on Heather's case. Alexis looks over them and thinks there is a grounds for an appeal. Laura says she doesn't want Heather to go free, but the metallosis may have factored into her crimes. Alexis says she's still not a lawyer, so she'll have to find someone else to help her, but notes a good lawyer would find a way to reopen Heather's case. Laura asks if she can recommend a lawyer. Alexis will have to give it thought, but warns her that by setting this in motion, she may not be able to predict how it turns out. The bottom line, Heather could get a lesser sentence, she may be moved to another facility, or she may be freed. Laura says freeing Heather is the last thing she wants for the families of her victims. Alexis suggests she drop it and not follow through with this. Laura can't just leave Heather in a supermax for life. Alexis admits that for once she is glad she isn't a lawyer. Laura asks what the old Alexis would say about this. Alexis says the old Alexis would say if the justice system decided Heather should get a lesser sentence or even go free, she'd say let the law take its course. Trina drops by, and Alexis heads out. Laura guesses she knows why Trina is here, but Trina says, I don't think you do. TJ stops by Molly's office and finds Molly leaving a message with her mom checking in on how Christina is. TJ asks why she doesn't just go to Christina directly. Molly explains she's been keeping a secret about Christina, and he has a right to know. She fills him in on what happened with Sunny, Dex, and Jason, and that she found out about it not from Christina, but by interrogating Blaze. TJ thanks her for finally telling him, and he wants to go lecture Christina to stop being careless regarding this baby. Molly says he can't do that, but TJ says until this baby is born that Christina has to stay away from her father. Molly says he can't run over and confront her as it will make things worse. TJ says none of this would have happened if they used a surrogate, but she had to have Christina, and now she is making decisions for their baby. Molly argues he had a choice too, and he agreed to use Christina. TJ says he wanted to make her happy, and everything in him said they should wait and use a surrogate. TJ says he wanted her to be happy, and she so wanted to have a baby. TJ rants that by using Christina, they are tied to her and her erratic father Sunny for life. So is she happy now? Molly admits she wanted a biological connection to the child, and he doesn't get how that feels as the baby was always going to have half his DNA. She says if he wants an apology, he won't get one from her. She says Christina is very fragile right now, and they need to let her get through this pregnancy without upsetting her, or else. TJ tells her to say it. Molly admits, what if Christina backs out of their agreement and keeps the baby, as there is nothing stopping her? He says she's not wrong, and the law is on Christina's side, and this is such a nightmare. Molly cries, how did we get here? All we wanted. TJ says, be careful what you wish for, I guess. He leaves to go to the hospital. Molly breaks down after he walks out. Sunny shows up at Christina's place. Blaze answers the door, and Christina sees him and freezes. He asks if he can come in and talk. He enters and has a gift bag with him. Sunny tells Christina that he owes her an apology, and what she saw was unacceptable, ugly, and vicious, and he never wanted her to see that part of him. She tells her father, but I did see it. Sunny says the expression on her face that night. He just can't stop thinking about it. He knows he had a lot of rage that night, and he doesn't know what got into him. He says it's not an excuse, and he's sorry. And he only followed her to the lady's room to explain to her. He says when she recoiled from him, it was as if she was scared of him, and he never wanted that. He says he doesn't blame her, and that isn't how he should act. He also thanks Blaze for being there and comforting her. Blaze says she has some calls to make and heads into the kitchen. Alone, Sunny says they've always been honest with one another, so if she wants him to leave and never come back, he will. Christina says she thought she knew him, and she couldn't believe that the man attacking Dex was the same loving father she grew up with. She thought she was watching a stranger.